Actually, Rhonda is the brains behind our team. And I, of course, am the cheerleader. That's part of my job, is to get us all together and provide this information so you all know what's going on and what has changed. So how many of you here are from a club that has 12 members or less? I see those hands up. That's right. We have quite a few of them. And how many of you are here to learn to be a club coach and help those clubs succeed? That's right. We all are here together to help each other succeed. That's what District 50 does. And that's what we do in Club Growth. I want to introduce this lovely lady, Miss Rhonda Bunte, who was our chief judge last year and did an amazing job. So when Toastmasters International rewrote all the rules for Club Coach, I called Rhonda because Rhonda can decipher Toastmaster rules better than anybody I've ever met, because they can be a little wordy and complicated. And Rhonda is truly an expert in that. I'm going to turn this over to Rhonda to give you the presentation. If you have questions, put them in the chat. We'll be collecting those. We'll have a Q&A session at the end so we can answer all your questions. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Rhonda Bunte.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. I am going to be here sharing the screen to give you some information about the particular program. I guess we better start at the beginning. It's always good to do it that way. What we'll talk about is actually what is the Club Coach program? What is the eligibility for a club to have a coach? And what are the coach's requirements to serve as a coach to a club? We'll look at where you can find this on the Base Camp module, how a club coach is appointed, the expectations of both the club members and the coach's required documents, as well as how a club coach achieves his or her success as a coach, and how they receive an award, and a 360-degree evaluation plan, as long as some questions, resources. The Club Coach program purpose is to help clubs increase their membership, improve the quality of their meetings, and be a sustainable club. In the far, far future, what the idea is to partner an experienced coach with a struggling club. And we'll help distinguish what those are. But talking about distinguish, the goal is to actually help that club achieve distinguished or better within 2 years of the coach's appointment. Well, what about club eligibility? Well, they have to have 3 to 12 members in good standing. That means they have paid their dues and they're current. They are an active club in that they have not been suspended or closed. Remember, when your membership gets so low that there's no longer a go. Currently does not have a club coach appointed to it, because we have a prior club coach program that some may be in, and they already have club coaches. And one club officer, but I would encourage all club officers to complete the club coach program training module that is in Pathways. And this is just so that everybody is on board to understand their responsibilities and to understand this program. You got to understand it to be able to do it. The club coach eligibility. Okay, just as if the club has to have members have to be in good standing, so does the person serving as a club coach. And they can't be coaching some other club already. So you get one club to coach. And you can't be a member of the eligible club in the past 6 months. You may have been a member of the club 4 months ago, can't be a coach. But if you've been a member of the club 12 months ago, you could be a club coach. So what do you think about the experience? Any feedback, any ideas from our audience as what do you think makes a good club coach? You can put it in chat. You can just shout it out.
Someone who has achieved distinguished club in the past and knows how to do it.
That's good. Very good. Very good. Anybody else?
The chat includes good listener, teamwork, has a good attitude and enthusiasm.
Very good. Very good.
Someone who's familiar with Toastmasters policies and procedures.
Very good. Very good.
And could I remind everybody to please put themselves on mute? I'm getting some feedback.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you.
When I hear coach, I think of someone who can ask the right questions and let the club answer those questions.
Ooh, questions. That is, yes. How do you ask a question and the right questions? I think we need to send some of these into Toastmasters International. But you're right about the experience also. At least a member for 1 year. I prefer, as someone said, distinguished Toastmaster. That's more than 1 year, but some people do it in a year. Served as a club officer for an annual term, or maybe 2 semi-annual terms, and completed at least a minimum level 2 in a path and pathways, or is an advanced communicator bronze or advanced leader bronze from the prior Toastmasters program, and also completed the club coach program training module. Now we've been talking about that module, so where is it? You're thinking, yeah. Okay, you go out to pathways, you pull up your pathways, and you look down here and you'll see at the third from the top, tutorials and resources. Okay. Click on that. You see to your left under subject, and you go down almost to the bottom and you see club coach program. You click on it, see, and you come up with the club coach program module. You click on that. It will take you maybe about an hour or 2 hours, just depends how long, just depends how quickly you want to work through it. It's got a lot of information and it has links to other resources in there. So and maybe that's why it took me a long time to get through it, because I kept clicking the links to the resources. Now, you're going to do this. And what are we going to go about appointing a club coach? It's 5 little easy steps. First of all, the club members, officers all meet, and they want to discuss, do you want to have a club coach? That's the first thing. Are you willing to accept a person to come in and to give you feedback and to give you some guidance in what you will undertake of improving your club? So this is something you have to, everybody's buy-in or a majority of the buy-in have to come. Then you may want to contact your district leaders, your area director, your regional director. They in turn are connect with your club growth director. Or you can even go out on the website, District 50's website, and we will be, this PowerPoint will be put out there and you'll have a link there, and we can show you later how to get to that D50 website where you can go out and request a club coach. And once you have, someone will come out and there'll be a suggestion made. Perhaps the time when you meet, the dates, very frequently, whether you meet by hybrid, in person, or just totally Zoom, you will be matched with somebody who has those capabilities and time periods when you meet. And then you get together and you sit down and go over what you want in an agreement, what actions you're going to take, some guidance that you will follow. And you sign the agreement. Now, Naomi's going to put in our chat an example of the club coach agreement, but it's basically what we have been just discussing, what qualifications and the club must meet and a club coach must meet. The things that will be done and what we will discuss in a few minutes of what the club coach has to do in reporting. And it's signed by the club coach, by a club officer, and then by the district director, Christy Peterson, or one of her delegates, such as Kellie McMaster. It is then sent to Toastmasters International, who processes that form and sends an email back approving the assignment of that club coach to that particular club. Like I said, 5 easy steps. Now, what are the expectations of your club and coach? First of all, you probably want to get together with the club. As a club coach, you want to get together and meet the members, develop a rapport, understand why they're a member of Toastmasters. What do they expect to get out of Toastmasters? Again, this is about the time after you've met the coach that you sign the club agreement, coach agreement. Then you sit down and you set some expectations. Now, what do you think might be some of those expectations that you want to do as a club? You may put this in chat, or you may just shout it out. You're a struggling club. What do you want to do?
Complete education goals.
There you go. That's one thing. Definitely got to get those education goals in.
Add new
Oh,
members.
Find new members.
All right. Yes.
I know, Rhonda. How
What?
about complete a club success plan?
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, and I bet you know how to do it because you attended the club success plan that they
You got it.
All right. I knew I saw you there.
That's right. You got it.
All right. Very good. Yes, you're all very right on to what has to be done. That is it. And that's a plan. You set out an action plan, expectations. And there's no really form you sit down and sign off on this particular one, but at least you're on the same page, the same goals, expectations for everybody. And that's what you're doing when you're assessing the club's health and set the action plan. You're doing a club success plan. And there's many other plans that you can get into doing. You know, you have moments of truth that are out there. Toastmaster wears many hats. the club leadership handbook. What are you supposed to do as a leader in that club? Got to think about that. What am I supposed to do as a VP of education? Just sign off on everybody's thing that when they do a speech and pathways. I think there's a little bit more involved in face. Okay, I have forgotten. I can refer to that. And here is where the work comes in. Now, some people may think that this is just going to be all fun, but there is a little bit of work on perhaps the club coach here. Within 30 days of receiving that email from Toastmasters International, the club coach does a preliminary report. Now, Naomi will put a copy of that into your chat there. And basically, what is it? It is what Shane said. It is a club distinguished plan. Yes. And it says, what's your action plan? And that's say, what are your initiatives you have planned? And the first couple of things you're going to do. You sign it off, send it to to the district leaders, and you keep reporting in 60 days from that first time, that next 60 days. And then you send in a progress report, easy for me to say. And Naomi will put that into the chat also. That's again, looking to see how's everybody going with their pathways, giving speeches. How's the membership drive going? Are you having open houses? What are your DCP goal progress doing? And what about training and administration that you have to do? Then, how are those initiatives coming along for your action plans? What challenges are you facing? And how are you overcoming these challenges? It is a 3-page report to do every 60 days to send into your directors. And the final report, same thing, but it's at this time, the club has achieved distinguished club or better. Your membership is there, is up to where it needs to be. And the club coach can do at least a minimum of 6 months. Maybe that club is fantastic and in 6 months it's a distinguished club, or maybe it takes a little bit longer. And if not done within the 2 years, a club coach can be reappointed again. Club coaches working towards a Distinguished Toastmaster Award. Again, you're appointed by headquarters. I mentioned the 6 to 12 months, 6 months to 2 year program, distinguished club status, and submitted all the reports timely. Check all those off, and you are a recognized club coach in your education program. It's noted on your records there in Toastmasters International. Yay, you've done it. And you get a certificate of accomplishment. Your club that you worked with, your executive committee of that club may decide they want to do a 360-degree evaluation of you. I would be pleased if someone did that for me. So I know how I'm doing. That develops my leadership skills, my communication skills. So by the next project I undertake, I can know where I can do better and what I do well. Here are some resources. Naomi will drop this particular PowerPoint presentation into the chat so that you can have this listing of resources for you. I wanted to show you where you can find those. I'll stop sharing this screen. and share another screen with you. No, that wasn't it. No, it wasn't. Oh, I know what I need to do. Bear with me here. Now, can you see this screen? Okay, good. This is one of the links I gave you for the Club Coach program. Gives you the same things that we went over. But down here are all these resources that you'd ever need. And this is here's the 360-degree evaluation form, your reports that Naomi put in, but you could still download them from there. All kinds of information. Look at all this information. Membership building, growth, club events, everything you want to know. Can you see District 50's webpage? All right. Over here under Club Growth, just scroll on down and you can request a club coach or be a club coach. Click on either one of them. You complete the form. Remember to hit submit, but it asks when your club meets, when a club meets once a week, how does it meet? And the day of the week, you have to have your membership number, your name, and your email address. That is my presentation. I will now turn it over to you for any questions that you may have that Kelly and I may answer.
First of all, let's give Rhonda a big D50 wave.
Thank you.
She waded through the information that World Headquarters had put out there, and she made it very precise and succinct. I think that is amazing because, as you saw at the bottom, there are a lot of resources, not only to be a club coach, but for clubs who might need to do membership building. You have an opportunity to read those items and put some of those practices into place to benefit your club or to benefit helping another club. Questions? You can drop them in the chat or you can come off mute and ask.
A club coach, is it assigned to the club for 2 years? Up to 2 years? Did I get that right, Rhonda?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, if that club achieves distinguished club or better, the coach would probably leave by then.
And the last question I have is, how are what's the word conflicts resolved when the club coach is not working for the club?
That would be a situation that the district would be glad to know about and to work through some things with. Kelly, do you have any comments?
Yeah, Toastmasters International does talk about that. So basically, the new club coach program is the club votes the club coach in, right? They say, yes, we want this club coach. We're doing, we need some help, but they can also do the same thing on your way out. So you always have to remember that it is the club's decision. The club has to have skin in the game, and so does the coach. And that's one of the reasons they revamped the club coach program. They wanted both sides to work together, but to both be held accountable for their part. And that makes a lot of sense to me. If you were to hire someone, an executive coach or something like that to help you improve, you both have skin in the game. You both have responsibilities and accountability. And the reason they changed it was to give those accountabilities, but you can vote them in and you can also vote them out. I do understand that not all coaches work with all clubs. And it's important to help our clubs find the right fit for them. And equally important for a coach, they also need the right fit to work with a club. So what we'll do is when you request a club coach, we'll send some folks over to talk to you and you can ask them questions. And if that is a good fit for you, then we all sign the agreement. If not, we'll send you someone else.
We have a question here.
Yeah, the Pathways Club.
Yes.
Richard, I'll go out and get it and post it in the chat. It'll also be on the D50 website under Club Growth. If you go to current clubs, under there, we'll have all of that information, but I'll grab it for you right now.
The average time frame for a club coach to be appointed, that's as quickly as we have people who apply to be coaches, and that we can match them with clubs who have requested coaches. I look at this every day as to see how our progress is going in volunteers and requests. So that's a matter of making the introduction. And then the process as that we talked about is a matter of the club coach and the club members and officers meeting and getting to know each other and signing that agreement and processing it. It's not done overnight, but it's not, I just would not venture to even guess how long Toastmasters International may take to process it. I have not asked that, but I can ask and get back with everybody.
And we also have to remember that oh, sorry, I was reading something, sorry. That both parties, at least one officer in your club has to do the club coach module in Pathways. And people who want to be a club coach need to complete that module. So if your club is considering a club coach, it would be great if all your officers did the module and understood, but at least one has to. So we'll have to double check, and we'll check with you to make sure that that module was completed on both sides before we send a coach over to you. And yes, Janet, it is recorded, and all the information will be on the D50 website.
Hey, Kelly and Rhonda, there's a couple of questions in the chat. Najef says, can I be a club coach to a club that I belong to? I think the answer was no, but if we could just cover that again.
That's correct. The answer is no. If you had been a member of a club and had been 10 months ago, and then you were not a member, you haven't been a member of the club, say, for 10 months, then you could be a coach for that club. But if you're a member of a club now that is 3 to 12 people, wants a coach, no, you cannot coach that club. The idea is a different perspective, a different person to be a part of the club coach process.
And I know that we may not have a good answer on this just yet, but I'm sure we're going to be sifting through these as they come in. But after the Google forms are filled out, what's the average time frame for a coach to be appointed or matched? Do we have an idea on that?
For me to match them, I check it daily. If I can find the match, it would be within a week. Now, but that's for them to then set up a meeting with the club and sign the forms and process the forms through Toastmasters International. The club coach would then start once the approval comes from Toastmasters International.
Great. And then Janet, oh, go ahead, Kelly.
Oh, yeah. Patricia, actually, yes, Patricia, you are grandfathered in. So if you were a club coach prior to this Toastmasters year, you are grandfathered into the previous club coach program. And if you start this year, then you're under the rules and guidelines of this club coach program. And I see that Christy asked, can you discuss the requirements for district credit with the club coach program? No? All right. So the district credit. So when you work with a club and the club becomes distinguished, there is a form that you fill out, and either I or Christy can sign it, and we send that over to Toastmasters International, and they process it, and you get credit for serving as a club coach. I think part of what they did is they didn't really have a way or a good way of tracking that information. I don't know how many of you have been a club coach in the previous program, but basically when they were distinguished, someone in the club would have to send an email to someone at Toastmasters International, and then you would get club coach credit. But this, with the documents that they're using now, I think it's a better tracking mechanism for them, and you didn't get lost in the, what I'm sure is thousands of emails Toastmasters International gets on a weekly basis. I see some hands up. Mary?
Yes. Question.
Mm-hmm.
Does the club coach have to come from a club that's already distinguished?
No, no, they don't.
Can a club request a coach from a club that's distinguished?
I think you can. I also believe that, and we talked about this, it's about matching the right person with the right club. If your club is distinguished, fantastic. Come on over, be a club coach, share your knowledge and experience with maybe a club that is struggling a bit, but it's not necessary to be a club coach.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mary. Aubrey, you had a question?
Yes, I have a comment / question. I am a club coach for 2 years right now in one particular club. The very first time the club did not make distinguished status, but recently the club made distinguished status. And when I checked TI website, they still have me as pending, meaning I don't know if the record has not been updated, or if someone needs to send information to them to let them know that the club is being distinguished. Anyway, the club, I love the club, and I decided to continue to support the club because they still need, I should say, more energy to get to president distinguished, not distinguished only. It's a good club, a small group, but they are growing right now. So my question is, when is TI going to be updating that record so I can receive my credit?
In process.
So Aubrey, I would reach out to club coaches at Toastmasters.org and inquire.
Yep.
Because the previous program, they had someone in the club had to send an email to them for you to get credit. But if it has yet to be processed, I would go back and check with them. With the ERP upgrade, unfortunately, it's taking them a little bit longer to track that and have the ability to update it.
Yes, that's what I found from talking with Toastmasters International. It's a matter of in process when they close out their books for June the 30th for the Toastmaster year. And as Kelly has said, it's just a matter of them processing it. And so it's going to take some time, but I would follow Kelly's advice is to follow up on it.
I think
Yeah,
there's
I
a
would
question.
definitely.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm done. Thank you.
Oh, I was just going to say there was a question. I don't know that we got to it. Is there a certain date by which a club coach must be assigned in the Toastmasters year?
Not that I'm aware of.
Janet, do you want to maybe come off of mute and explain that a little bit more, maybe?
Yeah, actually there is, and I don't have it at my fingertips. I'm grandfathered into this new one because I'm a
Let
club
me,
coach.
yeah, let me
coach.
put the link in. It says
Okay.
6 months. You have to be
Um,
assigned 6 months.
No, oh, and I think the forms have to be in international by sometime in November. Maybe that's changed, but in other words, you can't say in January and February, I want to be a club coach. You have to be, if you're thinking about being a coach, you need to be on the look for a club in the next couple of months. And I have a downtown Dallas club that may be looking for a coach.
Yeah, I don't remember reading that, Janet, but we will certainly check with headquarters to make sure. I thought that you could throughout the year, if you were interested in being a coach, you could go ahead and do that under the new program, but we'll double check that.
Hey, Rhonda and Kelly, maybe this question has already been answered. Can a club coach be assigned outside of our district, from outside of our district?
Well, I don't.
No, not that I'm aware of. That's another question we would have to ask.
Well, actually,
Okay.
I'm not a member in District 18, but I'm a club coach in District 18.
Okay.
So you can be a
But-
club coach.
So
can be assigned
that happened in the previous Toastmaster year. Now, what they're thinking now, I can't answer, but
But I think that would be a decision for Kelly and myself to make. And what the conditions would be, why this individual from another district would be a good choice for a coach for our district.
Gotcha. And the other question I have is a club entitled, allowed to have two coaches or only one? I thought I read somewhere that a club can have two coaches.
Yes, it's preferable that there are two.
That they have two coaches, okay. The
Mhm.
two coaches be assigned, all right.
Mhm.
And is that once request for a club coach is made, are two coaches assigned automatically, or does a club need to request that two coaches be assigned?
No, they recommend that we assign two to each
All right.
club. In our case, it will come down to the number of people who volunteer to be club coaches.
All right.
We really don't want you to wait that long, Shane. If I can get one great club coach to you, I will, and I will search for another one, because we really want you and that coach to work together to build your membership or improve meetings, whatever the club feels they need help with.
Okay.
Jamal, did your question get answered?
Thank you, Kelly. It didn't, my question was, I recently filled out the Google Forms for Top Club Coach.
Yeah.
And what I noticed is, if I'm available multiple days, the form only allows me to put in 1 day of availability. So I don't know if that's something we can adjust. So that way, if a person's available multiple days, then it will go over to
Times.
Rhonda or whoever's checking it.
Yes.
I will
We
fix that right now.
We will have our web guy fix that right now, Dwayne.
I don't think he's on, but I've got it right
Thank
now.
you, Jamal. I didn't realize that. So thank you for letting us know. We'll get that fixed. Let's see, in the chat, For the current club coaches that are grandfathered, are they required to start completing the club growth progress form?
Not aware of that.
I am not either.
And,
At
and I
some
would,
point,
yeah,
right.
supplement that when this new program was introduced to district leaders in February, we were told that the current club coaches are grandfathered and the conditions for the new agreement start July 1st. So I believe the answer is no, but I defer to Rhonda to be our expert in that.
And we can, of course, always circle back with headquarters. Aubrey, you had another question?
It's just to add to the previous question. Yes, you can be assigned club coach for another district. I am a member of 2 districts, District 119 as well as District 50. And in 2018, I was a club coach for District 119, while being a member of District 50, of course.
Thank you, Aubrey. And then I noticed, so in the new club coach program, there was another question regarding membership payments. In the new club coach program, starting this year, the coach may not join the club. You are an independent body. And in the past, they were allowed to join the club, but if they are assigned to you, they cannot join the club in the new program. But once it's all over and distinguished, if they would like to join your club, they've done their job, then they are more than welcome to. What does a club need to do if a current club coach did not pay their dues to renew membership? I'm just going to smile at this one. I'm just going to. And it's the prerogative of every Toastmaster to make a decision on which clubs they will join and be part of as individuals. But if your club coach decides not to renew, but had in the grandfathered program, then it's up to the club to make a decision whether or not to continue. Right? It's always, it's the club's choice. Oh, this is a good one. At any point when a club is severely struggling, can district mandate a coach? No, we cannot mandate a coach. Someone in the club must request a coach using the form we put on the D50 website, and then we will match you with coaches. But we cannot tell you, you're getting a coach, you're going to like this coach, and you're going to move on. Clubs are autonomous. And they're all a little different. And so it is the club's choice and the club members' choice.
Now, doesn't that have to be requested by an officer within the club?
Usually, yes, they ask that. But not everybody likes to fill out the paperwork, MJ. It's preferable if your club president, VPE, one of your officers completes the form, but it is a club decision, all members. And so if someone's like, well, I'm just, we've talked about this, we voted on it, it's in our minutes. Everybody's like, well, I don't like doing the paperwork. Well, get us the paperwork and we'll go from there.
Now, is the club coach stepping on the area directors?
Shane says no.
No. I'm not saying no. I I applaud it because that was the question I had, which was how do the club coach and the area director or the district director interact? So thank you, MJ Presley. You read my mind.
Leslie says no.
They what? They don't interact?
No, they interact, but Leslie says they do not step on the area directors.
I would say again, it's about partnership and teaming, working
agree.
together and accomplishing, everybody's in the same boat, swimming and rowing in the same direction.
Right. The area
Right.
directors have several clubs that they're focusing on. The coach is focusing on, or the coaches are focusing on that one club and working with that one club. The area directors are spread over several different clubs. So it's hard for us to focus on one club and give that attention and that love and care as much as we want to. We can't do that. That's where the coaches come and play. They're going to focus on one club and help them. And so they have to partner with the area director and keep them in the loop. But we just, as area directors and division directors, we can't focus on that one club as much as we want to. So that's where the coaches come into play.
Right. It's more one-on-one.
I would
And
say the focus of the difference between the area director and the coach. The area director is informing about things coming up, update progress. The club coach is there to, I wouldn't say necessarily nag, but to keep the club accountable. Like you said, you commit to this. How's the status of this? Where are you? What's your next step? What's next?
right, it's more about commitment, individual or individualized commitment and accountability between the club and the coach. Area directors have quite a few items they must complete during their service. They not only guide and inform the clubs, but they also put together the contests. They go to meetings, they go to training. So this is more individualized directly to the club. So our area directors can do exactly what our area directors are tasked to do. I think it actually is a great way for us all to work together to help all of our clubs succeed. And then Christy sent me a little note here on this side. And I'm sorry we missed this, but there is an extra added benefit to being a club coach. You can earn additional education credit toward a leader role, district leader role. The club coach must also have 20 or more paid members. So you start coaching a club with 10 members, they become distinguished, and then they grow to 20 or more. You can also earn that district leader role towards your distinguished Toastmasters designation. I must have practiced that 100 times. Distinguished Toastmasters designation. Ooh, that's a rough one. So you can earn your district leader credit being a club coach.
And getting in within the 6-month period, right? Then you have to be assigned by 12/31.
You've got to go.
Now's the time. Janet can give us a testimonial on how starting early makes success.
Right. Early and often, Janet, early and often. Look at her laugh.
And look for another club coach to go in there with you because it just doubles the input.
Also,
New ideas.
also you can add the club coach certificate to your professional resume. It comes just like being a mentor, you can add it to your professional resume, and that's closer to the door of success. So, I recommend the club coach and add it to your professional resume.
Thank you, Aubrey. That's a great tip. So we have a couple more questions. With the new rules, should we visit potential clubs on our own and consider asking to be a club coach or wait for the match? Well, my advice is visit as many clubs as you'd like. They would love to have you as a guest and a visitor. And if you feel and they feel that it would be a good match, then reach out to Rhonda and we'll see if that's what everybody is interested in doing. I think thinking out of the box, visiting clubs, making new friends. I know MJ goes and visits clubs all over. He just pops in. There he is. And I'm pretty sure he knows every single person in the district. And that's a great way to do it, is to look at find a club and go visit some of these clubs. Say hi, make some new friends. Are there club coach assistants? No. Although convince someone to do your paperwork and not get credit, well, good on you. But if I'm going to fill out all that paperwork, I'm going to sign up to be a club coach and get credit for the work I've done. And we want you to have that credit. So we also have a question about, in the old program, the grandfather, if the club did not reach distinguished, when is the assignment over? And I believe it's over when the club coach and the club decide it's over.
Let's check on that though, because it used to be at one time that you had the first year. So like maybe I had 11 months or only 3 months. And then I had one more year, but it's not clear because they don't seem to roll off on Toastmasters International. Now, maybe it's because they're just too busy with the ERP. And from the question earlier, they definitely are busy. Today is the first day that we see June month end is posted on the website.
They've made updates to the ERP, people. We're getting there. But I believe that if a club coach in the grandfather program, if you want to roll off, or if the club is like, nah, we're good, you do have to contact Toastmasters International to tell them that assignment is complete and over, because they didn't have the kind of paperwork they're using now to keep track of it. So they have, what is it, club coach at, I gotta find it, Toastmasters International or Toastmasters.org.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, good, because I usually go in here and I don't know if you know this, but in Toastmasters, they have a big contact us and it's every department. So whatever you want to know, there's an email for that and someone to talk to.
Well, and it's just like our acronym or group email for Rhonda, clubcoach@d50tm.org. So you have to be sure you know which organization you're directing your comment. You want to become a club coach, work with Rhonda, clubcoach@d50tm.org. If you're already one and you have a question, then you could reach out to International. Otherwise, they will ignore you because they cannot appoint you. It has to come from Kelly or myself.
Right. All right. Any other questions before we say goodbye for today? Because I know I'll see you all again. A lot.
I see some responses already on our forms. So we've got people submitting.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are so excited this
Spread the
year.
word, guys. I mean, everybody is on board to help be successful. So share it with everyone.
Thomas, can you expand on your question?
I was something I said earlier, and it was just what I haven't been a club coach in Toastmasters, but in other institutions, what I get from a coach is about accountability and it just, again, asking the right questions. You said your club coach was gonna do this, hold them accountable by when. Give me a by when. When can I
Oh,
expect
okay.
to circle back and say, oh, it's done, it's complete, by when? Yeah, and then we celebrate the
Okay,
wins.
but let's add collaboration to that, because the club coach and the area director do have many common goals to help the club grow, have quality meetings. You have the same interests. And just as Kelly said earlier, it's more about that one-on-one relationship. This coach is attached to this club. Area director has 5 clubs they're working with, but you both want that club to be successful. Collaborate, build a relationship with the club officers so that you know what works. What worked for one club might not be what the others feel would work for them. So it's not asking for dates, it's working together to achieve goals.
Yeah.
I forgot that part. Yeah, what works, what doesn't work.
Can you put the sign up form back in the chat line again, please?
The
Oh,
sign up form to be a coach?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll do that right now for you, sir.
oh, for you, anything.
But for all of us.
Yes, I am so thrilled that D50 has come out in force on a Sunday afternoon to learn about the program, to sign up to be coaches, to ask for coaches. I am thrilled. Thank you, thank you, thank you, D50. Thank all of you for coming. If you have questions, reach out to me or Rhonda. I see Marty and Janice have their hands raised.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you what geographic area of the country your district covers. And I know it's an odd question, but I believe that the reason I was invited to this training is because I joined a club that's located in Texas. And I'm trying to confirm if your district is connected to that club.
Well, yes, we're in North Texas, Dallas area, all the way over to Shreveport, Louisiana, up to Texarkana, down to Longview and back to Dallas.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.